exterior of this home has a beautiful architectural design that was actually crafted to help withstand the wind, so when you're hanging out in your backyard on those windy days, it is going to reduce that by a lot. Now, I also want to point out on this home, this won a DESI award here in Las Vegas based off of the architectural design on the exterior and interior. So going throughout, you will see why this property won that award. But bringing everyone up here, off to the right, we have the beautiful motor court and a 5-car garage with modern paneling. You could store so many cars up this driveway, something that you can't really find here in Las Vegas too often. Now, there's 2 sides to this front entrance. This takes you to the front door, and over here, I want to point out really quick, there's a reflection pool here with some water features and lounging, and this access will actually take you into the kitchen that we'll see a little bit later in this video. But coming up to this is so grand. All of the landscaping throughout makes this so tranquil walking up to your front door. We have the stonework off to the left, and when the sun starts to set here, which we will be here for that, these lights will start to ambient that glow of this walkway. And I just love this tree hanging out here between this side and this front door with the recessed lighting and this covered entrance bringing us to the interior of this home. So without further ado, let's go through and check it out. Coming inside the interior of this home, there's 2 wings. This one is going to take you to a couple more bedrooms and an upstairs, but I want to focus on the main living quarters here first. If we come down these 2 steps, this is the first main living room. As you can tell, we have the fireplace on the back here, and this actually reciprocates to the other side in the dining area, so we'll see that in just a second. But let's take a look and talk about this living room. We have stonework on this back wall that flows all the way to the backyard, high ceilings above with the lighting, and on the back you're going to have all of these windows bringing in a lot of natural light to this property. Literally, this whole back wall is windows, so you're going to get a ton of lighting in here, which is super important. Now, right on the other side of this wall and fireplace, we are greeted with the formal dining area. Beautiful light fixtures above that are staggered, very classy, and then we have your table right in the middle here that is accompanied by that fireplace again. And you're going to have a door that takes you to the backyard of this home again. You get some great views here of your pool, Tournament Hills, and the landscaping in the back that we'll get to a little bit later in this video. I also want to point this out because we don't see this too often on homes, and I love when they add this feature. This is a lit up countertop here, and it just gives it such a ambient glow to this area, especially when the sun starts to set here and this is glowing. You have the fireplace on and you're sitting here enjoying a beautiful meal. Is something that you're not going to find too often on a home. Now, on the other side here, there is actually a powder room that is tucked away through this wall here. So I'll actually bring everyone here because it is kind of hidden. So right through this door is going to be the spare bathroom on this floor or this area. Coming in, we have tiled backsplashing all the way throughout this property. Water room is over to the right, and then you have this circular vanity accompanied by this circular mirror that is electronic. So I want to point that out because it is kind of hidden here, which is a nice feature to this home. Now, I'm going to bring everyone to the kitchen and the secondary living space. So this kitchen has a oversized island on a waterfall edge countertop. We have sitting right here, which is perfect because it's all open underneath. So you still get a ton of leg room here. Most islands are completely closed off, and it's kind of hard to get under there and actually enjoy your meal. So I like how they thought about this. Now, when you're sitting here too, you can see into the other living room, your backyard, and then also into the space that we were just at. But coming into the kitchen a little bit more, and we're going to talk about these appliances. We have monogram double ovens, microwave off to the right, space gray cabinetry coloring all throughout with these dovetail handles. I really like this. It is a more modern aesthetic on this property and really makes it look minimalistic. Now right here is your coffee bar. We have a toaster, and right in the middle here, you're going to have your 6-burner monogram stovetop with this griddle in the middle here, and the hood vent is going to be built in here. So if I press this button, this will go ahead and that is your hood vent instead of the one that's typically up there. It keeps it nice and sleek and hidden. I'm not going to turn it on right now because it is going to be a little bit loud for you guys, but I love when they put the stovetop on the island here instead of facing the wall, because you're still connected with the living room, the entertainment going on. You don't feel so secluded over here, so I really like how they did that. At the end here, you have a stainless steel sink, which isn't your main one because you have your other one over there, and this huge stainless steel fridge and freezer combo on this wall. This is overall a very great kitchen because we also have 2 dishwashers with more cabinets and storage down below, and then your main sink here with this tiling that goes from counter to ceiling. And if you notice too, there's a cutout right here, and you get a little bit more of that LED lighting, giving this kitchen above a ambient glow. When the sun starts to set a little bit more here and it gets darker, you're really going to see that outlining come out on this circular design that they have above. Now, over here is going to be another dining area, which actually brings us back to where we started this video. Through these French doors here is going to be the access to this courtyard-like area with that reflection pool. I could only imagine coming out here, having your dinner with the fountains on, enjoying that tranquil environment. This isn't it for this kitchen area, because over here we have a desk, some storage, and then off to my right here is going to be the oversized pantry. It has a sensor light that brings you in, and there is so much storage in here, and it's nice tucked away, so it's not taking up a lot of area in your main kitchen, which I really love. But now I want to bring everyone to the opposite side of this kitchen, which is the secondary living room. Now there's still a ton on this right wing here, so let's talk about this area. This is another TV wall in the back. We have another fireplace like the one that we saw in the beginning that reciprocates to the other side, to the bar over there. But this is overall very great to have 2 different living areas. You got the main hangout over here where you're enjoying the kitchen, entertainment, and then it could also be broken up to a little bit more formal into the front there, so you can definitely have the best of both worlds. Now, there's more paneling on these back walls that are going to bring in a ton of that natural light again. We're going to see this beautiful pool and backyard, which I cannot wait to show you guys. We're actually going to take a couple of steps down to another flex area space with a bar. And this door is actually tucked away here on a pocket, so you can pull this out, and it is nice and hidden here, not taking up a lot of room. But bringing everyone in here, we have a sunken bar, sink, mini fridge, and more natural light coming into this room, overlooking the mountains here. The sun's starting to come down. You can see a little bit of the golf course. We're here in Summerlin, and this is TPC, which is one of the most popular courses here in town, and your backyard is literally right next to it. Now on the back wall, another TV, the other side of that fireplace. And if I bring everyone through here, we're going to have another powder room. And then through here is going to be the wine room, which I love how it's tucked away over here. This is temperature controlled through these over here with humidity settings. And there's just so much space in here for your wine. We have this wall and then this whole wall here for even more storage. This is perfect to have on a home like this, especially when it comes to entertaining in that backyard. Now we have this door here which opens up to a garden, and there's actually another stairwell that will take you to the top floor, but we're not there quite yet. I just want to go ahead and point out this garden access that this home has. But there's a whole nother wing upstairs that this stairwell takes you to, but I'm going to take you the proper way, so I'll meet you guys back at that staircase and we'll go upstairs. I want to take a quick interruption in this video to say, if you're looking to relocate, buy or sell here in Las Vegas, I'm your guy. I'm going to pop my email up right here on the screen. Shoot me an email and I can see I can help you best. Now, I'm going to enjoy this backyard oasis, enjoy the rest of this video. Let's get back to it. So right off the kitchen and secondary living area, we have this staircase here that is broken up, floating, that goes upstairs. But before we get there, this is one of the garages. This is the 3-car garage. There's a ton of storage in here. The 2-car garage is on the other side, but there's some things in there from the owner, so we'll leave that one out. But this gives you a good representation of what the other one looks like. So this could comfortably fit 5 cars between the 2 areas. Now back at the staircase here, this is going to take us upstairs where we are met with this loft space, the primary suite, and the remainder of the spare bedrooms on this wing. So I love this loft because you have high ceilings up here again, and this overlooks the downstairs living quarters. If we come over here, you can see that dining area, the first living room, and you even get views of this wonderful backyard through these windows. There's so many different things you could do with this loft. It could be for more entertaining, a pool table, game area. I mean, it's up to your imagination to make this yours. So I just want to point that out here. But we're going to go to the main primary suite first, and then we'll check out the spare bedrooms on this side. And I just want to point out these are all en suites too, which is a big plus to have on a house this size. Now coming into the primary suite, there is a ton of room in here. On the back wall, you have your TV, another fireplace. You're in Vegas. We have your fireplace, tons of room for more lounging, and then we get beautiful views here of the golf course, the mountains off to the left, and this backyard to top it all off. You can start your mornings and your days here with the fire going and overlooking what you have here in Tournament Hills. So let's go back inside now, because this primary suite has a lot of different features, one including a gym. So on the far side here, we have another pocket door that brings you into the gym on this bedroom. Now, if you wanted to make this into something else, you could, but I like how it's set up right now as a gym. We have a couple of machines, a massage chair, and then we have a window that currently has these blackout curtains, and another setup here for more workouts. Now, we still have the bathrooms on this property. There is a his and hers bathrooms. Usually it's a his and hers closet, but this actually has 2 separate bathrooms. So I'll bring everyone into this one first, which is being called the his bathroom. We have this stone down below, the vanity right here with a lot of counter space, mirror right here, and then on this side is the closet, which has a lot of room, and this is usually the size of a closet on a regular home, but there is a whole nother one on the other side. A ton of room in here. It already has all the custom built-in storage, so you don't need to do anything there. This also has its own little balcony, which we saw downstairs. So when we were down there by that wine room, this was the staircase that we saw down there. But this takes you up. You have tons of room out here, and this overlooks the motor court down below. So this is great to have on this side of the bedroom, because you have one on over there that's kind of like your main one, and then if you want to get a little bit more private space, this is perfect for that. Now, I almost forgot, this shower is one of the most unique entrances that I have seen. So we still have stone down below, and this is going to wrap you all the way around, and we're going to end up over here. So coming in, this is a huge shower, circular design. We have some body features right here, 2 hoses, and then another 2 water heads above. I mean, I haven't seen a shower like this before. I love this design. It's very unique. It might not be the most modern that we have toured on the channel, but this is definitely one of my favorites when it comes to design and just overall cool shower. So now let's go over there and check out the hers wing. So if one bathroom wasn't good enough, we have a whole other side over here. Another vanity. This is the hers wing. This is on a waterfall edge countertop, makeup vanity over to the left, and then this huge jet tub right in the middle here. There's also a huge window right here that we're going to go ahead and keep closed. And on this side is your water closet. Has a little bit of counter space in there as well, and the hers closet to top it all off. This is obviously a lot bigger than the his closet. Tons of storage for shoes, clothing racks, and then on this side you have built-in cabinets and drawers. Overall, this is a huge primary suite, probably one of the biggest that we have seen due to the 2 bathrooms that is pretty rare to find here. So let's go down this hallway now. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the spare bedrooms and bathrooms, because like I said, these are all en suites. So this hallway is going to have 2 more rooms. I'll bring everyone into this one first. Right away, we're gonna have your closet off to the left here. I'll keep it closed just because some of the owner's belongings are still in this property. Off to the right, we have a single vanity, mirror, walk-in shower, and this is the main bedroom here. Bed in the middle. This is a oversized room. Usually here in Vegas, you're gonna have a little bit smaller sizes on the spare bedrooms, but this one definitely is oversized. If I bring everyone back to the hallway, coming down here, before we get into that room, this is one of 2 laundry rooms on the property. The other one is going to be on the other wing. This is a huge washer and dryer room. We have the Maytags on the back, your sink, and this gives you plenty of storage for all your sheets, pillowcases, anything you need could be stored there. Now right across the hall is going to be the final bedroom on this side of the property. Over here we have another single vanity, walk-in shower, a little bit different color tones, which I like because it makes it more custom to each room and not so copy and paste. And another bedroom which is the same size as the other one, window on the back here, and overall a very great area. Now that is going to be it for the whole top floor on this wing. There's still another staircase on the other side with a loft and another bedroom, but we'll get there in just a little bit. But I want to take everyone to the backyard first, so I will see you guys down there. Everyone into the backyard now. You'll see the balcony that we were just at upstairs in the primary suite that overhangs and acts for more lounging. Now right in front of me we have an oversized pool, wet deck right here that is great for setting up some lounge chairs here in the summer. And on the back over here we're going to have an outdoor kitchenette, grill, stainless steel, and then an above ground hot tub over here on the back with a waterfall feature that goes into the pool. Now, if I stand and look at this home, this architectural design is truly one of a kind here in Las Vegas due to, like I said, this was built to help the wind resistance here in the neighborhood, which is great. You see why it's won an architectural award. This almost reminds me of somewhere in LA or Beverly Hills, but this is here in Las Vegas. Now off to the right, you're going to see the sun is setting, beautiful views of TPC Golf Course, which is one of the most popular ones that I told you about. And bringing everyone over here, we have another covered area that's going to take us to another ensuite on the opposite wing that we didn't get to quite yet. But if I come down these stairs, I love how there is lighting that will come on when it gets a little bit darker here. There's so much landscaping in this backyard, big trees, palm trees that give you more privacy. And I like these too because this could act as more sitting space when you're here entertaining. You don't have to have a bunch of chairs all over. This could go ahead and accommodate that. Now, we'll take another look from this lower level of this backside of the home.